Good afternoon and welcome back to Splitting the House. My name is Curling Zone. I'd like to welcome Kerry Galusha, skip of Team Terror and a Team Galusha we've seen playing on tour many years now and really starting to make your mark on tour as well.
Yeah, we've the last couple years for sure. We realized that okay, if we're gonna actually compete, we need to travel more and put in the time and money and effort. So that's what we've done the last couple seasons, and it's gone really well for us. We've never really been that's watched points, but the last couple of years we actually have been. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to actually see some of this in person and the success that you've had on tour. You've been to the other events. It was Kempville that you ended up winning that event, and it's really exciting to see.
Yeah, Campbell was that was a grind, but it was what it feels like to win a WCT event. And then last year when we went to Cornwall, it was amazing to be in the top 8 and qualify against a field that was. So it's been good. We've been trying. It's too bad with the pandemic this year that it's stopped, and I don't know if we'll be traveling at all. So, but yeah, the last 2 years.
I know right now you're scheduled to make a trip to Ontario, I think end of November. You have a couple spiels booked there, but obviously we're not sure where that's going at this point.
Yeah, we decided that we would try back week. So we were trying to look for something, and as late in the season as we could. We didn't really want to be the guinea pigs and be the first ones to start curling. And a couple of us are up in the north, and we have to isolate for 2 weeks. So if I south a while, back and isolate for 14 days.
And you've added a new player to the lineup as well. Shauna Barber has stepped away, and Margot Fleming is now moving to join you.
Margot moved here a few weeks ago. She had to do her 2 weeks isolation in a hotel. Lucky Margot. she must really want to curl with us, but she put in her 2. Now she's here, and it's really good, and I'm getting to know her, and she seems really nice considering I've curled her once and didn't know a lot about her, but my third Sarah, she's curled with her in university, so they knew each other. But yeah, it's good. It'll be hard to lose Shona, but I have a feeling she'll be around as our 5th player with the pandemic. Joanne Rizzo being our out of province player. Not sure she's going to be able to come here. She'd have to get an exam to come into the territory. So you never know. You might be seeing Shona around.
Well, that's great. It's always a lot of fun to see you around the tour when you do come out, and of course our yearly chat at either the Scotties or the Briars seems to be a classic thing that I always enjoy when acting as well.
Yeah, we can talk for a few hours, that's for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things, there's definitely been a lot of discussions coming up in the last months with Black Lives Movement in Canada. Indigenous people certainly have some of these issues at the same time as well with problems like this. And today is a special day called Orange Day. And this is in recognition of the residential schools thing that hangs over the heads of the Canadians. We've had our issues where we've not we've not worked well with people and tried to change a culture, and that's what the residential schools ended up being.
Yeah. And yeah, today's a really important day. And wearing an orange shirt isn't gonna do a lot. It's not going to make a huge bring this to the residential schools and what happened to all the children that were taken away from their homes, and um, they lost their culture, their language. A lot of them were abused. A lot of them had good experiences, but also a lot of them did not. So, Orange Shirt was done by a woman, Phyllis Webstad, and she went to residential schools in BC, and she had an orange shirt that was taken away from her. So, and she never got it back. And so she's done a movement across Canada, September 30th, Orange Shirt Day, to bring awareness. And I'm really impressed with a lot. It seems to have grown this year. I see more and more people wearing orange shirts, which is great. Last year we posted about it. There was a lot of response. Even with, I know I talked to you about this and how upset I was about National Indigenous Peoples Day. I really felt like more curling teams could have brought awareness to that day. Not a lot of teams posted about it, and I'm pretty upset about it. The odd person did, but today it was great. Lots of curling teams were posting about Orange Shirt Day. I think a lot of people didn't know about Orange Shirt Day, and now they do. And I think people started reading up on it, and which the whole point day is to bring awareness, to educate yourself, because a lot of people don't, like, residential schools is a huge part of Canadian history, but a lot of people don't know about it. They're not aware of it. They never learned about it in school.
I know it was something that we didn't learn a lot about in school as well. It was something that was touched on. You learned a little bit about that this happened and how it happened a little bit, but it was certainly, and a lot of that was, told in a way that it, even maybe romanticized it a little bit.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, it's really unbelievable that people are not educated on it, or they're not even aware of it, because it's a huge part of our history. And and it's had, I mean, my dad attended residential schools. He was taken from his home when he was 11. He lived in Aklavik, Northwest Territories, and he went to residential school in Inuvik, and it's a huge impact on the Kawi family. I know when brother Kevin made it to the Olympics, CBC covered a lot about it and took interest in our family for that reason, which is great. It also brought awareness to the curling world back then. So, but yeah, I was a little shocked that a lot more people don't know about it. But when the Black Lives Matter movement happened, a lot of friends called me up and talked to me about in Canada with racism and Indigenous people. So it's good. People are starting to be more aware. I know people have a lot to learn. I even have a lot to learn. But it's a start, and I think today has brought a lot of awareness about.
Yeah, I think, and you're right where you talk about, wearing an orange shirt on its own is not going to solve anything. But also the awareness is the first step towards trying to figure out and understand the problem. And I think a lot of people have a hard time with this issue. Me, that problem isn't, I don't believe that. But at the same time, there's a lot of problems that have come out of this that, it's subtle things that we don't necessarily understand that are still causing hardships going back to these cultures. It's and bringing this up and making you feel heard is probably a first step towards maybe finding some solutions and some true reconciliation.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I know there's a lot of racism with Indigenous. We have issues up here, and even in Yellowknife, I see it. We have a lot of homeless people, and they're judged, and a lot of people just don't understand the trauma and what these people have gone through and addictions. And I know it's not an excuse, and I know people say that, well, you can't use residential schools as an excuse. You have to rise above it, and I get that. But for some people, that's not possible to do. And, and it's generational, it's passed down through families and children, and it's really tough to see. And, but it's just reality. It's the way it is. At the same time, I know a lot of people don't understand it, and that's because I don't think they're educated on it.
Yeah, I agree. And when you look at the generational side of it, you run into a situation where it goes back to fathers and grandfathers and mothers and mothers, and what they do to kind of problems, the alcohol, the drugs, and all of a sudden, their families are without a strong parental character because they're going through their own demons, and now their kids grow up without that kind of leadership, and all of a sudden they're through similar struggles. Yeah, I certainly understand the reason why and what happens. Most families that grow up in a strong suburban world don't face these challenges to the same degree.
No, and I agree with everything you just said, 100%.
Yeah, I really appreciate having this conversation, Kerry, and I think it's important to hear from you. I know you're a role model within our sport, and somebody who I'm sure many people look up to as a character and a great person as well, and it's sort of connecting the dots at the same time too. It's knowing somebody who is from the culture to understand that there really isn't much difference between us.
No, yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of people don't even, myself, Jamie and Kevin, are Indigenous. I mean, we certainly don't look it. We definitely are, and I feel like as I've gotten older, I talk about it more, and what our family's been through, and just as people in residential schools, I've definitely talked about it more. I don't know why, but it definitely needs, I need to talk about it more, and I've probably been silent on it for quite a few years, maybe scared to speak, but I said, as I've gotten older, I just feel like I need to talk to people about it. And this past year, especially since COVID hit, I talk about a lot about it with my friends, which is something I've never really done. So this is great that you're having fun, just to bring awareness to the day and residential schools and Indigenous people. I
appreciate your time, and I hope to see you again on the curling ice very soon.
Yes,
We need to get rid of this COVID thing, and you can get down and come join Joanne Rizzo in Ontario and maybe take down some more points.
Yes, hopefully.
Thanks again. Really appreciate the time, and we'll chat again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Until then, everyone be sure, please subscribe to our YouTube channel on Facebook. Follow us. We'll let you know when we're back next. Until then, this is it. Kerry Galusha, thanks. Everyone else, take care. Have a great day.